Last week we were talking about resilience, and I was thinking about that a lot actually, since you described me as very resilient.
Mm-hmm.
And when I thought about that afterwards, it made me cry.
It made you cry?
Well, a good cry.
Uh-huh.
I'd always thought myself as a resilient person,
Mm-hmm.
as a survivor, but somehow resilient shifts something in me. Like it's a positive thing, you know what I mean? It describes my strength of character rather than just surviving a terrible childhood.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like you're saying that resilience describes something inside of you, something that occurred not just because of luck or happenstance.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. So, I wanted to ask you, what makes someone resilient? Is it something you're just born with, or is it about your temperament?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that resilience and temperament are the same thing. But I do think that resilience as a capacity is something that everyone is born with.
Well, I've been thinking about my childhood
Mm-hmm.
and the difference between me and my brother. And see, he made himself successful in life, financially at least, okay? But he never got over his resentment. See, he resents how we grew up.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he still definitely resents me. He's angry and depressed, and I think he resents me for reaching beyond our family.
Mm.
And I think, he allowed his childhood to own him, and I don't want that to be me.
Mm.
I can't stand my ex-husband, but I don't want that situation to own me. I want to get beyond that.
Sure. Did your brother ever go into therapy?
Oh no, he thinks it's a bunch of junk.
Mm. So one of the differences between the two of you is that you reach out and you ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's a key element in people who have resilience, who are resilient. Things can happen to us in life. It can be traumatic or horrible, and we end up feeling some resentment. But some people just end up being able to reach out to others for help based on something inside of themselves that we could call resilience, or some fundamental basic trust. This is especially true for you, I think, given your parental background and how chaotic and disruptive your childhood was. And yet somehow you were able to go outside of your nuclear family, and you reached out to other people. You reached out to friends, you reached out in here, and were able to utilize the therapeutic relationship in a way that really has helped you. And I think specifically overcoming some resentments that you have. So resilience can still be that basic capacity, but if you've been hurt or let down by important parental figures, it generally takes being engaged with some other benign person who is able to support you, to see you for who you are, to encourage your strengths, and encourage you to move and live into your full potential, your full capacity. And that's really what the therapeutic relationship is.
Well, when I was a girl, I had this vivid vision. I was walking down the streets of New York City, and I was holding the hand of an adult. I think it was my father, actually. And I don't know why, but I decided to smile at strangers. Like, I don't know, like not as a manipulative ploy, but I guess it was a way of finding alternative connections of sorts, I guess. And it worked. People smiled back, and they seemed kind, and it didn't take much to get their attention. Yeah.
That's a wonderful example. That's a wonderful example of your early resilience, and your curiosity about the world.
I mean, I have this image as well that there was another child holding my father's hand, and my brother was holding the other. And my brother was just passively walking along, you know. But I guess in a way that shows that he was just taking what he was given, I guess. And I mean, maybe I was just a little more rebellious than he.
Rebellious?
Well, like not in a negative way, but more like a refusal to give in to be made feel invisible.
So you're saying that part of your resilience was actually contained in what you're calling your spirit of rebelliousness?
Yes, I guess so.
You know, I'm wondering if we could find a different word for that other than rebellious. Something a little more neutral or positive even.
Yes. I like that idea. How about tenacity? Or fighting spirit? You know? Or maybe my own inner knowing. Knowing when something wasn't right somehow.